Imagine two friends. Both are exactly 32 years old, and both of them take home exactly $80,000 a year. They've both spent years saying no to expensive vacations and impulse buys. Through absolute financial discipline, they have reached the exact same starting line, $80,000 in liquid cash savings. With that money in hand, they face a massive financial crossroad. Society dictates a very specific path here. We are taught that buying a house is the ultimate goal, and that paying rent is throwing money away. Acting on that advice, our two friends make one radically different choice. Yet fast forward 20 years, and the mathematical outcome defies common sense. Steve, the lifelong renter, ends up significantly wealthier than Ryan, the homeowner. The reason comes down to the precise mechanics of that single housing decision. Ryan chooses to buy. For him, a house represents stability. He wants a single address, a backyard to plant trees in, and a place to build memories for decades. It is a purchase driven heavily by a need for emotional security. Steve goes the other way. He dislikes the idea of signing a 30-year mortgage because he values freedom above all else. He wants the flexibility to move cities or change careers without being tied down to physical property. To figure out exactly how the renter mathematically defeated the homeowner, we have to strip away the emotional comfort of owning property. We need to track the absolute reality of every dollar they spend, starting from day one. Ryan finds a house for $350,000. He takes $70,000 of his savings and uses it for a standard 20% down payment. This ledger tracks Ryan's cash. His remaining $10,000 disappears into unrecoverable closing costs and fees. Savings, gone. Now, his monthly expense column shows a base mortgage of $1,863. Adding taxes, insurance, and maintenance pushes his true cost to $2,650. Buying the house immediately wiped out Ryan's liquid cash and locked him into a rigid, high-friction monthly financial drain that he cannot easily reduce. Meanwhile, Steve signs a lease on a very similar house for a flat rate of $2,000 a month. If the roof leaks or the property taxes spike, he carries zero financial risk. It is entirely his landlord's problem. By choosing to rent, Steve keeps his $80,000 in the bank. He immediately takes that entire lump sum and places it into a liquid, low-cost stock market index fund. We subtract Steve's $2,000 rent from Ryan's $2,650 ownership cost, leaving a $650 surplus. Steve takes that exact $650 and adds it directly into his investment portfolio every single month, without fail. Steve avoided 30 years of massive debt. Using his retained cash, he built a low-friction compounding wealth engine, completely untethered from the physical constraints of owning property. This chart compares their net worth over 2 decades. Over time, the aggressive, compounding growth of Steve's liquid investments catches up to and significantly overtakes the slower, fee-drained equity of Ryan's house. Ryan's decision to buy wasn't a total failure. He forced himself to build equity. But his house functioned as a very costly lifestyle purchase, heavily taxed by mortgage interest and constant physical upkeep. The deeply held societal rule that renting is throwing money away ignores the complete financial picture. Renting only fails you if you take your monthly surplus and spend it on consumer goods. If you treat rent as a hard cap on your housing costs and you rigorously invest the difference in the market, renting stops being a compromise. It becomes a mathematically superior strategy for building long-term wealth.